Lots of stories in the news about the slowing housing market, but is it going to lead to a crash like 2008? We'll talk about that coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Lots of stories in the news about the doom and gloom around the housing market. There's no doubt that it's definitely slowed down, but does that mean that there's a crash like 2008 coming? I'm going to talk about some key data points that we can point to that show that this market is not like the last market. So let's jump right into the data. All right, so here's 7 key data points that compare the housing market, the housing cycle of 15 years ago to the housing cycle today. And this is important key data points to understand, to compare, because when you're talking about a crash coming, I keep asking, okay, what is that based on, right? What is it that is happening this cycle, like last cycle, that is going to cause a crash? Because most people that are saying a crash is coming, it's just because the housing market slowed down, right? And they believe the prices are too high and that something's going to happen, something's got to happen, but it's not really rooted in any type of actual fact or data. And so here's some stuff that we should look at and be aware of and just conscious of, that things are very different this time than it was last time. And the first one is the job cuts. Last time there was 8 million net jobs lost during the housing cycle the last time before the crash. And in this market, there's none of that going on. The second one here is total jobs, right? So these are total jobs in the economy in the US. There was 138. We actually have 20 million more jobs, right? There's 158 million jobs in the economy now. So significantly stronger economy. The job market has grown. There's no shortage of jobs in the economy right now. Subprime loans, we talked about this one before. Subprime loans were the primary factor in the crash the last time. They were very prevalent. There was all kinds of risky borrowing programs out there. That has primarily been fixed with Dodd-Frank. After the crash of last time, there was federal legislation that fixed that. There is virtually no subprime risk in the market, in today's lending market, which is a big factor that led to the crash last time. So that just doesn't exist this time. New construction, this is a big one, right? There was a lot of new construction going on. The housing market was booming. That was creating an oversupply of homes on the market. And there was 7.65 million new homes built in the previous 5 years leading up to the crash. This past 5 years leading up to the market that we're in today, there was only 4.6 million homes built. So a significantly lower amount. And that is over the last 15 years, we've been lagging behind on the amount of new inventory that's required to keep up with the market. And that's one of the reasons that the next bullet point on here, which is the inventory in the market, is still so low. So last time, if you looked 15 years ago before the housing crash, there was 3.8 to 4 million homes on the market. In today's market, there's only 1 to 1.2 million. So we're still, every single market, this is national average, right? But even in the local market here, we're still in very low inventory environment where we're like 35% lower inventory than we were in normal times, and even like 50% what it was prior to the crash in 2008. The next one on here is mortgage delinquency. 10.1% mortgage delinquency in the last housing cycle, 3.6%. So very low, and that's pretty much normal at any given time. That's normal rates of mortgage delinquency. So it's not like that rate is higher than it has been in the past, and it's not an indicator that obviously something bad is going to happen, because people are gonna have mass delinquency on their mortgages like there was the last time. And the last one is homes in foreclosure, right? That's the most important data point. Everyone who's waiting for a flood of foreclosures, there's not that many mortgages that are delinquent. And even in today's market right now, we're only at 0.6% homes in foreclosure, where there was 4.6% homes in foreclosure 15 years ago. So big difference in some of these key data points. You definitely do not need to be concerned about some similar situation like we had 15 years ago in the housing market, because all of these key indicators in the economy are very different. And for the most part, we're getting some positive news out of the economy with the consumer price index and inflation slowing down, which should actually heat the housing market back up. So we'll see what happens, but wanted to share this information. If you have any questions or you disagree, I'd love to hear what your disagreements are, or what it is you think will lead to a crash. What kind of data point are you looking at that says that we do have some type of crash coming like 2008? And if you have any questions, you can always email me at dylan@buybigisland.com or put them in the comments below. See you guys next week. Aloha.